Light up the eyes, boys! Welcome in to the Bro Force Squad podcast, where we're just a bunch of bros drinking beer and talking movies. This is episode 113. I am your host, the Mayor, Jeff Hornacek. We have a very special episode for you today, an exclusive interview with Kevin L. Johnson from the hit show on Netflix, Ozark. But before we get to that, let's go around and meet the fellow bros. And first, we go into the lab to the mad scientist, Brian Banner. Banner, if you were a movie scientist, would you use your powers for good or evil? I'm almost scared to ask you this.
Yes.
You know what?
See, I would do kind of a Sith thing, but I'd also be like Wolverine, where like I'm a bad guy, but I do it for good reasons, kind of thing. You know, so right down the middle.
How modest. You just compared yourself to Anakin and Wolverine.
I mean, really, they modeled themselves after me. We all know that.
It's true. You're 900 years old. Next, we go to our enforcer in the paint, Matt Geiger. Matt, I got to ask, I've been watching a lot of like high school movies lately. So what's a common mistake that bullies always make in movies that if we're just playing a little Monday morning quarterback, you'd like to help them correct to better beat the shit out of nerds in the future?
Well, like our Back to the Future movie commentary that you should check out is like they tried to rape a girl like on camera in a car. I mean, if you're going to do it, you might as well.
Okay, yeah. No. Don't do it. It's just what we're saying here.
Right.
Exactly. Also, the kick me sign that they used in that movie. I mean, what even is that? Just kick him. You don't need a sign to do it.
Do kids do that anymore?
No.
I don't even think it was a thing when I was in high school.
I don't think it's ever been a thing. It's like this superfluous thing that people act like existed once, but it really never did.
We need some more older crowd. Uncle Banner was a kick me thing a thing back when you were in high school? That was like a million years ago.
All right. So you're rude, but then you also want his help.
Obviously.
All right. Well, if you guys have not listened to our show before, we start every episode off with the most important thing in any bro's life, and that is chess day. And as I said off the top, today is a very special chess day because Matt and Brian actually have an exclusive interview with the actor Kevin L. Johnson from the hit show. I mean, you've seen it. If you listen to this show and you haven't seen Ozark, pause us for like 17 hours and go watch it. Because he stars on the hit show Ozark on Netflix right now. You know you have it. So Matt and Brian, here is our interview with Kevin L. Johnson.
Thanks, Jeff. I'm Matt Geiger along with Brian Banner, and today we have a very special guest from the top 10 Netflix trending show Ozark, Kevin L. Johnson. Kevin, welcome to the show.
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Of course. All right. So, Kevin, I'm just going to jump right into it. All right. So let's go back to summer of 2017 when the first season of Ozark was released. Where were you when it hit you that you're on one of the top shows out there, and what was your reaction?
Oh, wow. I was probably waiting tables at a restaurant called Double Zero here in Atlanta near Emory University. And people were like recognizing me when they came in, to sit down and have food. And they just had these big eyes, like, and I knew what that look was after that. Like, it was like, oh, yeah. And then so it would be like, hey, you look really familiar. Did you work at this other restaurant closer to where I live? And I'd be like, no, but do you have Netflix? And they're like, yeah. Have you seen the show Ozark? Yeah. Oh my God, that's right. Babe, it's the guy from Ozark. Yeah, so it's still awesome. When I get recognized, it's still very surreal.
Did a guy say, hey, Sam, I don't want to be an a-hole, but my appetizer was supposed to be here like 10 minutes ago? Or like...
No, none of that. I did take pictures sometimes, like during like busy time, like people would want to take pictures. So it was felt like I was a celebrity or something. It was very bizarre.
Did you have people requesting to sit at your table? Can I sit in Kevin's section, please?
No, just when they saw me, they knew who I was because I was probably clean shaven at the time, just like Sam. And yeah, it was Yeah. Yeah,
That's
it's pretty
awesome.
cool. Yeah.
So I was born and raised in Missouri. So I watched this show as soon as I heard the description because I've been in the Ozarks many a times to Party Cove. It's hard to say what a show's about without giving too much away. I don't really like to do that. I like to basically say, you know what, Ozarks, if you like Blow, if you like Breaking Bad, even if you like Wolf of Wall Street, because there's some
Yeah.
dark humor in there, you'll like this show. So could you give me some examples or TV you can compare the show to?
Oh, well, definitely Breaking Bad. I mean, that was
Absolutely.
what we got compared to right out the gate. But also, it's good, to compare. Like, if you're trying to get some traction on a show that's premiering for first season, Breaking Bad is a great thing, great show to compare it to, and that way you'll get like an audience. So definitely that. What else? Maybe Justified.
Yeah.
I
Oh
haven't
yeah,
seen
for
I
sure.
haven't seen Justified. I've seen a couple episodes, I think, but I could see that comparison.
I don't
What
know if you
else? Walking Dead.
line,
Hmm?
Bloodline, Walking Dead,
Oh
just
yeah,
really
yeah,
man,
yeah.
anything that has drugs, I mean, money laundering, of course, but every episode made me, I'm like, well, I was going to go to the gym, but I need to watch this next one kind of thing. Yeah.
Sopranos is a great example
Soprano. Yeah.
too. The anti-hero. Yeah.
It's hard to give, I mean, it's hard to say. So season 3 on right now.
Mhm.
Season 4 may or may not have been greenlit yet. We're still waiting to hear that.
Right.
So people are either have watched it and are hooked, or we need to give them a reason to watch it. So I hate giving descriptions. I'm like, man, if you like Blow, man, if you like Wolf of Wall Street, if you like Breaking Bad, if you like basically something that you're gonna, which is a perfect time right now as we're stuck in quarantine. This is a great show for you on Netflix.
Oh yeah.
And I'll say this is a show, and I don't know what your thoughts are. I'm assuming you've gone back and watched it, right?
Oh
Since
yeah.
it's been released. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's one of those shows that once you start, you're not going to be able to stop. I think me and my wife, when the first season came out, we were pregnant with our daughter, and I think we watched it in like a day and a half, the entire season. I mean,
Mhm.
because she was pregnant, didn't want to do anything. So, what? I mean, are you that same way? Obviously, when you go back and watch something that you're in, you're like, oh man, I can't get enough of this, even though you know what's coming. Is it
Yeah.
still as fun for you, or is it's probably a different kind of fun, right?
Well, I try to like when we're shooting during the run, if it's not a scene, if I'm not in the scene and it's not related to Sam, Sam wouldn't know what's going on outside what he has going on. So I tried to keep everything, even though I got the scripts for whichever episodes I was in, but I chose not to read them, just my scenes, and just so I could enjoy it like as an audience member too. Even
Oh
though I did
wow.
find out some of the things that
You have
happened.
so much more willpower than I have. I would read
Yeah,
that thing cover to cover in an hour, and I would have to talk to anybody about it.
yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
it
the
took I can't believe because I had like the final episode, I had the script, and I was like, I'm not gonna read it. I'm just gonna see my
wow.
scene and just enjoy it. But I did find out some of the things that happened, uh, on accident, you know, saying, I can't really say because it'll give it away. But yeah, I found out some things beforehand, so I kind of knew some of the things that were going to happen. I just didn't know when they were going to happen, kind of thing.
Right on, right on. So obviously, this is produced and several episodes are directed by Jason Bateman, and we're huge Bateman fans on this show. I think Nate Thurman, one of the other guys, uh, Bateman's one of his favorite actors. So, what's your best Bateman story? We got to know.
Oh wow.
I'm sure there's 1,000.
Well, he's such an awesome guy. He's so down to earth. Uh, I'm trying to think of something. Oh yeah. So season one, this always sticks out. He was directing me in episode 9, where we're at the funeral home. Um,
hmm
and
Yep.
I know spoiler alert, but if you haven't seen season one, I mean, come on.
Yeah, that's on you, not on us.
Yeah.
And if you do spoil it, you haven't seen it. Plus, trust me, there's plenty more stuff that happens
Yeah.
in 2 and 3.
So we're at the funeral home, and Wendy's helping me figure out what we're gonna do with my mom. And one of the lines was, what was it? Oh man, that's so mom, I think is what the line was, and it was everything else was I was it was coming off naturally and it made sense, going back and forth with Wendy, but for some reason that line, like, that's or so right mom, it was something like that, and then he was like, Jason said, hey man, it's really good, but that line, that's so mom, I don't know, there's something about it, it's just not working. So think of it like, maybe like you're looking up, you're like, oh, that's so mom. And I was like, oh, well, duh, that's because it wasn't making sense to me either.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is just, it doesn't fit. And then he gave me that line reading, which I'd never recommend directors do that with an actor, but if you're just not like that, that was a perfect time to give me a line reading, because it just wasn't clicking for some reason. It was like a brain fart. And yeah, so I'll always remember that. So that's a good one. And then obviously the first scene where with the dog and the peanut butter.
Yeah.
And all like that was improv when I was like leaning my chair back, and Jason was like, yeah, just have fun with it, man. Just like, say like gobble it up, or what you want, like just have, and that was my first day on set. Yeah. It was awesome.
Oh wow, that was your first day on set.
The scene
we
where
heard
it
we were
looks like
having
I'm
you on the
getting a
show.
DJ.
That was the first thing that came to mind. Just letting you know. I mean, you've had a lot of great things on the show, but that was the first thing. I'm like, oh yeah, I need peanut butter from the store.
Yeah, it's usually the go-to when I do interviews. I knew when we started, I knew when we did season 1, and that was my first scene, I was like, that's a scene that people are going to remember for
Absolutely.
the duration of the show. I didn't know how it was going to, I didn't know if like PETA was going to be mad about it. I was like, I had no clue if animal lovers are going to be pissed. Luckily, nothing crazy happened like that.
I don't think PETA subscribes to Netflix yet. I think they're still on cable.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they have dial-up internet still
Yeah.
too, so I think we're all right there.
Kevin L. Johnson from the hit show Ozark on Netflix joining us. Two of my favorite characters from the show are Sam, played by yourself, and Pastor Mason, played by Michael Mosley. Simply because a lot of people think these characters are gullible, but actually growing up in the Midwest, I'd argue they're more trustworthy than anything. Obviously, I'm kind of more talking to season 1 here if you watch the show. And the other two reasons, because your character development, my God, is like a roller coaster. But tell us your strategy in playing the character Sam.
Oh, wow. Well, when I got the role, I was just like in the audition when I taped it, I just decided to not kind of put layers on. I just was myself, and basically to the nth degree. I mean, he's a very trusting person, a little naive, people would say. The innocent quality, I can easily tap into that because I mean, people will tell you, my friends will tell you, like, yeah, Kevin, he's so innocent, he's so sweet. Mm-hmm. So it's an easy thing for me to kind of, I don't really have to tap into it. It's already just there. But yeah, man, it's been great seeing him go from real estate agent to strip club owner to what happens in season 3, getting involved in, the seediness. So man, it's been great. It's been this is my biggest role to date in my career, and just to have an arc like I've had on the show, it's been a dream come true, and I hope it continues.
We're all nice, trustworthy mama's boys until we go into a strip club, I guess. But was that something came from your roots? I mean, I know you went to Clemson. I didn't really see where you grew up. I mean, I grew up in the Midwest, so I mean, being trustworthy is just something you do. You trust people when you're from kind of a small town. Was this character something in your roots? Were you growing up in a small town? Was just this how you basically saw life?
Yeah, I mean, come to think of it, yeah, I mean, I grew up in Lake Wiley, South Carolina,
Okay.
which is a really small town. Um, and yeah, not a huge population, and I've always been a trustworthy person. Now, if you screw me, then it takes a lot for me to gain my trust back,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm very trusting. So when you use that against me, it makes it hard for me to trust you
Right.
after that. So
For sure.
yeah.
So, Kevin, I wanted to ask you also, obviously, you got the role in season 1. Did you know you were going to have such a big arc in the show when you signed up, or did you know there was a possibility if the show got picked up for multiple seasons that your character would grow, or did you kind of think, hey, I'm just going to be one of these peripheral outside characters that kind of pops in and pops out as needed? Or did you know you were going to be a pivotal part in some of the plot lines?
Well, I don't know how much I was supposed to be in season 1 from the get-go. I know when I auditioned, it was 2 to 3 episodes. Um, and then, yeah, I got on set and I got to meet the writers. One of the writers I'm still really good friends with, stay in contact with her. Um, and she was the one that wrote some really good stuff for me in season 1. And yeah, I mean, it was just, I thought it was going to be like 2 or 3 episodes, and then they just kept writing me in, and it's just, yeah, it's crazy. Like the script supervisor was surprised that I was a local hire, thought I was from LA. I was like, no, I live in Atlanta. And she's like, oh my God, wow, we lucked out. And then I found out in I think it was season 2, that Mike, Sam, and Ruth were the 2 characters that they didn't know how big they were gonna be in the show. Now, obviously, Ruth is huge in the show, but to think that they had no idea where my character was going, and when I got on set, they obviously loved what I was doing. That's always really, really cool.
Yeah, that's a huge testament to what you're capable of. I mean, that's awesome. That's like it's like one of the biggest compliments I think you can give somebody is, "Oh wow, we thought you were, big time from LA." And you're like, "Nah, I'm just a dude hanging out. Let's go."
This is me.
All
Yeah.
right, Kevin. Enough softballs. Our last segment is called "Can I Get to Bro You?" where we put you on the hot seat. Are you ready?
Let's do it.
All right, you got a 6-pack of beer and a pizza. What movie are you watching?
Oh, wow. I mean, my favorite movie of all time is Dog Day Afternoon, but like if I've got a 6-pack of beer and pizza, it's probably going to be a comedy like Step Brothers or something.
Oh yeah.
Oh
Nice.
yeah, there you go.
What beer are you gonna get? I work in the beer industry, so I was just wondering.
Okay. I would say my favorite beer is either Samuel Smith's Oatmeal Stout,
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
and then I think on the different spectrum would be like Hell or High Watermelon. I don't know if that's I think it's a local beer,
Got
but
a beer nerd banner. We'll have to
Yep.
invite him to our IPA breakfast some.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a shit show. All right. One more. Can I get to bro you, Kevin?
uh-huh.
It's been a long day on set. You've been up since dawn. It's getting to be midnight. You're driving home to your place. As you're driving home, what band or what artist you listening to on the radio?
Oh wow. Man, I love Tyler Childers right now. I listen to his Pandora. Well, it's on the Avett Brothers radio station, so I listen to the Avett Brothers, Tyler Childers, Mumford and Sons.
Mhm.
Right on.
Yeah, yeah.
You're definitely invited to our IPA breakfast
Yeah.
next time we have it.
Yeah, that's basically what we do during those. So
Kevin L. Johnson, from the hit show Ozarks on your Netflix machine. Check it out. Thank you so much for coming on the show. We want to plug other stuff for you, but once again, guys, we're in quarantine. Let's just say there's big stuff on the horizon for Kevin L. Johnson. So just keep with you on Twitter. What's your Twitter handle?
It's Kevin_L_Johnson.
Okay, there you go, guys. Subscribe to him on that, tweet him on that to catch up with everything. So thanks for coming on the show, man. We appreciate it. And we can't wait. I hope season 4 is greenlit, man. I'm ready for season 4.
I feel good about it. Let's just say that.
That's awesome. Good. Thank you so much, Kevin.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Thanks, guys. The second part of our show is called our protein shake, where we go around and talk about what is in our cup, also known as, hey, what have we watched lately? So I have 6 things, but 2 of them I'm not even going to talk about. Banner, 4? Matt?
4. I got 3.
All right. Let me do a couple real quick. So Pulp Fiction, I rewatched. I actually have a broback that I did with Alex English that's dropping May 19th, depending when you hear this. It's basically like one of, if not the greatest movie of all time. And hot take, just a little tease, I think Mia might have a drug problem.
What?
I don't know. It's just what I kind of connected some dots.
Come on, man.
So that comes out May 19th. Check it out. Rewatch Pulp Fiction and listen to it.
I just see like in Hollywood in 95 in the theaters, like Cosby, like, why would you wake her up?
God. But why would you wake her up?
With a football.
It's like, well, Bill, that's elite. You know what? Never mind. Another thing that I watched that we all saw that we did a review on, check it out, is The Last Dance documentary, episodes 5 and 6. That should currently be up on Apple Podcasts and YouTube. So go check that out. We are loving the show right now. And this last episode finally gave us sort of the other side of the coin. Guys, newsflash, Michael Jordan's not perfect. Rock the world.
I don't believe it.
Matt, what's in your cup, or what have you watched lately?
So I've been watching a lot of cable television and movies that I don't know.
Is everything okay at home?
I have cable because one day I pray to God every night that sports are going to come back. So that's the reason I'm still paying for cable. But there's some movies that come on, like I've talked about Back to the Future. Whenever that comes on, check out our movie commentary on that, shameless plug. But whenever that comes on, I got to watch. The other one is A Few Good Men. When that is on, I will watch it to the fucking finish. It's one of the greatest fucking movies ever.
That's why we need you, Matt, because you actually watch the fucking classics.
Do you guys watch this when it's on? Because it's on TV all the fucking time.
What's it on? Like TBS?
AMC a lot.
I feel like every time I tune in, it's one of 2 scenes where Cruise and Demi Moore are like studying for the case, or when, of course, Nicholson's on the stand.
I want to say it's on TV right now, but the other thing that was on a couple days ago was the Denzel double feature, and the second one was Man on Fire, which
I love that movie.
It's a movie that sometimes you forget about. It's almost like you see a new movie. I'm just sitting there, I'm like, what am I going to eat tonight? It's like Man on Fire tonight. I'm like, what the fuck, dude? That's an awesome movie. And I think, like, why haven't I seen that in the last 2 years? I'm like, that's a great movie. And then you watch half an hour of it and you turn it off and you're like, fuck that. I'm going to get at this illegally because there's so much more shit to this that you can't show on fucking cable. So then you watch it illegally. Because Man on Fire, God, it's a fucking great
Man on Fire is like Extraction on steroids in 1998, hitting 70 home runs.
Pretty much. That's pretty much what it is. And the third movie I watched, which was my favorite of the Rocky movies ever, was Rocky 3 with Mr. T.
Really?
I don't know. Yes. I think it's my favorite because Clubber Lang is basically like Mike Tyson. Like, he trains alone. He's just kind of a not quiet dude, but just kind of minds his business and beats the fuck out of people. And then that's the one that Paulie dies, and then he goes to LA and trains with Apollo, which I fucking love because I love Apollo. But for some reason, I just like this movie better because I still get my Apollo, but then I get Mr. T, which honestly, for those movies, he was a rightful foe because he faced Apollo in the first 2. Like, who's he going to face in the next one? It's like, how about the Southside slugger Clubber Lang, who can just fucking murder him and shit? And the training montages, I think, are the best of any of them, because in Rocky 4, he basically just lifts logs and never spars or never does anything. This one, Apollo basically trains him kind of like in Southpaw, like how to dip and dodge. Just don't like stand there and fucking wear jabs on your face. So this is my favorite Rocky movie of all time, period. Anytime this is on, these three movies, anytime they're on, I will watch them to the finish. Man on Fire, A Few Good Men, and Rocky 3.
See, the thing I love but also hate about Matt is that he never watches shitty movies. He only watches like the best movies. And now Banner and I have to go watch like Croctopus. So
I'm
Matt,
not gonna lie to you guys. I've never seen Few Good Men.
What?
Okay.
I've never
That's
seen
not
it.
okay.
Matt, let me put you on the spot real quick. All right, rank these three Rocky movies: Rocky 3, Original Rocky, and Creed.
Rocky 3 is the best. Creed, then Original Rocky. Rocky 2 is arguably one of the greatest Rocky movies ever. Rocky 1 is good, but it just takes so long to get
Right.
after you've seen all the Rockies. If you would have seen it like my dad said he saw it in high school, I can see why he thinks it's one of the greatest movies ever. Have you seen all the Rocky movies? Rocky 2, I think, is a better movie than Rocky 3. I just like Rocky 3 better. But Creed's fantastic.
I can respect that.
For me, Rocky 1 has to be third because Paulie throws a very well cooked chicken or turkey into the alleyway. It's just it hurt. Listen to our movie commentary on that. It hurts my soul to watch that scene.
I just love how and they do this in two of them, but how Rocky doesn't really want it anymore. And then something happens, like when his son's born and Adrian's like, I want you to train, I want you to win. And then you just hear that music. You're like, I need to go on a jog after this, or I need to quit eating so much, cereal or something.
You're like with your wife, like, you can keep watching from the couch. I just need to do some bicep curls behind the couch while you watch it.
Like, can I lift? You like ask your wife, can I lift you? Like, just like, as a bench press.
She's like, you're pretty hammered drunk, are you? I've only had 11 beers. Jesus Christ. What are you, a priest? Oh, my fucking case. Well, Geiger, I gotta say, it's a pretty damn good slate. A Few Good Men, Man on Fire. These are all on cable? What the fuck am I doing not on cable right now?
Yeah, man. For sure.
I can promise you my list is not that good.
Do you DVR these, or you just happen to catch them while they're on?
I just catch them while they're on. I mean, why would you DVR any of these? Just sometimes I get home, I'm like, man, I don't want to just plug in and just search for stuff. That's the thing, is like, I hate going to the gym. It's like, what band do I want to listen to? I'm like, God, I take like 20 minutes thinking about it. I just like getting on. It's like, these are the stuff we have. What do you like? I'm like, fuck, I like that. Man on Fire. Fuck yeah, I'll play that.
That's why
there's still a place for cable.
There's always a market for, like, you tell me what's on, and because I don't want to have to go through we get exhausted looking for that. What if there was a movie app that said, hey, we have 4,000 movies. When you click the app, you tell us a genre, and then we randomly show one that's like halfway through playing.
Yeah.
That would be fucking cool, right?
I'd watch that.
Anyway.
Geiger, I also need you to go buy a lottery ticket. If you've just happened to stumble across those three movies this week, you're like the luckiest human being right now. You need to go and brave the virus and get a lottery ticket and win a bunch of money, and then give some to me because it was my idea.
Give some to me because I've always supported you through thick and thin.
We're all in this together, Matt.
Once we get where we are, we're all stars, and we see that. All right, Banner, what's in your cup?
All right, so like you, Jeff, watched Last Dance, episode 5 and 6. Check out the review. I'm not going to beat that dead horse. Guys, I watched Tap Water Blow. Oh, I'm sorry. I watched American Made. It's
I don't get the joke.
It's not like...
Oh, Tap Water. Wow. You see what he did, Geiger?
Yeah, you gotta let that joke marinate for a while. Get it in deep in the burger before you put it on the grill.
Jesus
Christ.
Tap Water Blow. That's my description of American Made. It's very similar. Guy smuggling drugs for Pablo Escobar. You have Tom Cruise's character kind of narrating it the exact same way Johnny Depp did. It's just not as good as Blow. I don't know if that's because the character that Tom Cruise plays isn't as appealing as the character that Johnny Depp plays in Blow. They're just, or if it just was how it was filmed or how the story was told wasn't as good. I don't know, but it wasn't as good as Blow. I was entertained. I'll
But
never
was
go
it
back and watch it.
was it Tom Cruise kind of against type at least?
Yeah, I bought Tom Cruise as this person. I bought everybody in there as these characters and these people. And it was definitely an interesting story, but I feel like it could have been explained like in a documentary style in an hour as opposed to a bioflick that it was. You can definitely tell they Hollywooded it up a little bit.
Is it rated R?
Yeah, it's rated R.
Okay.
There's some great scenes, there's some funny stuff, there's some oh shit, I didn't know that moments. It was fine. I mean, like I said, I'll probably never go watch it again, but I'm glad that I watched it.
I was very interested from the trailers. It was just one of those was it you said 2018?
2017, I believe.
Oh, okay. I don't know. It was just something like that year I didn't have time to go see it, but it's always kind of been on my radar. It's in that DVR purge I always talk about from those movie channels that I have.
If you have the opportunity, watch it. It's not a hard watch. It's not a super long movie, like hour 40 maybe. Not too bad. Like I said, I'd suggest it, watch it, and then get it over with.
This is what I'm interested in. Does Tom Cruise do blow in the movie?
There is a scene.
It's like a workout. Just do it. You can get it over with, and you'll feel better about yourself.
There's a scene where it's impossible for him not to have.
But
I think it's actually in the
I just
trailer.
want to see Tom Cruise do blow. Like that would sell me.
Yeah, that doesn't happen, unfortunately. I mean, in the real life story, it had to have. Like off the dashboard of a fucking plane, he's just.
Our boy Kevin L. Johnson's credited in that too. I don't know if he's not in it though.
Yeah, he's not in it, but he's credited in it.
Sounds like that movie could have used some Kevin L. Johnson to give it a little life.
I can tell you, it would have been bottled water below if it had Kevin L. Johnson in it.
Instead of what was the first analogy you said?
Tap water.
Tap water. Okay, got it.
Yeah. There's a little bit of a stretch. I'm glad that it landed. I've got a reputation.
You just led with it is why I was.
Yeah, I took a risk. I'm not sure it paid off, but it is.
In hindsight, it did. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. And the last thing I watched, which Jeff, I actually see now that it's on your list of things you watched, so this will be fun. So recently I stumbled across a suggested viewing chart of the MCU. And it says, hey, you should watch the MCU in this order. Jeff, I know you and me talked about it off pod at length, whether we agree.
We actually had kind of a heated debate about it.
We did have a heated debate about it. And that inspired me. It probably won't come out for 6 to 8 months because I want to do it justice. I'm going to come up with, in my opinion, the best viewing of the MCU from beginning to end, all the movies. So, of course, I started out which is the natural, I think, a universal starting point. Captain America: First Avenger.
I saw it too. My fiance said, hey, I kind of want to watch all the Marvel movies in order. And I asked, can I propose to you harder?
Jesus. If you don't put a ring on that right now, y'all need to go to the courthouse and just lock that down.
Yeah. So we're going to wrap the shower curtains around ourselves and go down there and get married to each other. So Banner, what do you want to say before I introduce this? What I think is, it's not a big plot hole, but it's a plot hole that exists.
Look, the movie as a whole, it's a bottom third movie of the MCU. I know we always break the MCU into the.
But it's not a train wreck,
It's not a train wreck. It's the top of the bottom tier, I think.
Yeah.
I think it has gotten better with age. I really do. I think that it was a great starting point. I think it's a great starting point for the MCU. Obviously, it's the first Avenger, so it's just a natural starting point. It happened the furthest chronologically back in time. I think it's the weakest Captain America movie, but I also think it's the most necessary Captain America movie because you know where he started, and then obviously we know where he ended in Endgame. And I think that when I first saw it, I didn't really like it, and going through the MCU, I didn't like it again. Now that I know this entire, what do they call it? The Thanos saga is completed. Infinity Saga has completed. I appreciate this movie so much more. It's not one that I'm going to pull off the shelf and go, hey, I want to pop this in all the time. But if I'm watching the MCU, it is a great movie. It's a super necessary movie, and it's gotten better with age.
I think Matt will agree with this, thinking about like DC's best efforts. The thing that I like about this movie is it existed in a much quieter universe before it had to have. Part of this is because it's a period piece, but before it had to have 7 other characters be referenced and fucking show up. It's like that's what's great about the Dark Knight movies. It's like, hey, just make a good fucking movie, dude.
They made
Yeah.
4 good movies and built on it to where you have a scene with 25 fucking people. It doesn't seem jumbled because you're like, I know everyone's backstories. I know why that person's there. I know why that person's there. Oh, these people. And then it just makes more sense than DC is like, here's 8 people in there. We've only had movies for 2 of them. These other 4 you're just meeting.
Yeah. There's even a scene at the beginning, like Marvel really subtly does it, like when Red Skull shows up in Tonsberg, Norway, and he grabs the cube and he goes, "The pride of Odin's treasure room." And no one's like, I don't know who Odin is. And I'm like, you'll find out in 2011.
It also comes off of the Tree of Life, which
Yggdrasil.
Yep. Which is cool because I mean I think it's accepted that Groot is part of the Tree of Life.
Oh yeah. So Joe Johnston directs this. He did The Rocketeer, which I've defended multiple times on this pod. I say defended like someone else has attacked it. Geiger's like, no one fucking cares. Just put the gun down.
Yeah.
But he's great.
Put the gun down, Shmee. Tell me.
Shmee, what's wrong with you, Shmee? It's pointed to my fucking temple. And Banner, I think you'll agree with this. The first 2 acts of this movie are almost impeccable, man. I mean, unreal, incredible character development. The CGI is so great. And when I say CGI, I don't mean these massive action set pieces. Really nothing. There's no big action set piece the first hour, 10 minutes. And you are completely content with that. It's perfect, basically.
They give you just enough. They give you that little scene when they rescue Bucky, and that's
right. Which is, I think,
amount of
one of the best scenes in the movie.
Where
it loses me is the start of the 3rd act and the montage of destroying all the Hydra bases.
Yeah.
That's where it kind of runs off the rails. But one thing I want to talk about, and I've gone to Reddit, and some people have actually helped me figure this out. Follow us on Reddit, r/Bro4Squad. But this is something I figured out. So, Banner, when Zemo is captured on the train, that's the train raid where Bucky, falls off when the side gets blown up.
Right.
He falls into the ravine. It kind of creates a plot hole because in The Winter Soldier, when they show his memory of him waking up in the bottom of the ravine, Zemo was there saying, "Oh, Sergeant Barnes." But on that train, he gets captured by the SSR and interviewed by Tommy Lee Jones right after.
I can't believe I didn't catch this, but you are 100% right.
So how is he there when they grab Bucky? He's in SHIELD or SSR custody at the time. It doesn't make sense.
I agree. How is Reddit explaining this away?
So what Reddit is saying, and it actually is pretty credible, and the only reason I believe this is because Christopher Marcus and Stephen McFeely literally wrote the screenplay for Cap, The Winter Soldier, Civil War, Infinity War, and Endgame. So it's the same 2 guys. They say that because Bucky's brain has been jumbled up so many times by Pierce and Hydra, he's blurring his memories together. So like when Zola was giving him orders in like the 60s or 70s when he had infiltrated SHIELD, he blurs it with when he woke up in the ravine and was being dragged, or when he was being experimented on in the Hydra base where Cap rescues him.
I'll buy it. Didn't take much, but I buy it.
Sure. That's exactly what I said on Reddit. Thank you, Reddit community. All right, that's all I have to say about Cap. Do you have anything else, Banner?
No. Again, like I said, check out for the squad bod. Like I said, I'm probably 6, 8, maybe even a year out from actually writing it, but that's because I want to do it right. I'm making notes on each movie. Probably gonna have to watch some of these movies, like the shitty ones, like Thor 2 multiple times, unfortunately, just to make sure I get this viewing order right, because I had some major concerns with the one that I saw, and you guys deserve better than that. Just saying.
It's your Sistine Chapel.
Yeah,
and Geiger knows
this is my thesis statement, guys.
You think Michelangelo painted the first 15 chapels and then said, "Hey guys, for the last one, why don't y'all come and help me?" It's the Sistine Chapel, dumbass. Sorry, I didn't have some uncle on the board of regents at some fancy college. Keyword was, did he touch the Filipino exchange student? Did he not? I don't know, Brooke. I wasn't there.
I wasn't there.
Anything else, Banner?
All right, I got one more thing I watched. This is a new thing. There's only one episode has dropped, and it is Disney Galleria, The Mandalorian. Jeff, have you watched this?
Oh yeah.
You check this out?
So it's a series apparently.
I don't understand how it's gonna end up being like the longevity of the series, or I don't understand it, but I like the first episode.
I mean, could it show you the gap in how awesome Taika Waititi is versus how lame Bryce Dallas Howard is?
Oh my god!
So Geiger, this is the making of The Mandalorian. Taika
I have to
Waititi.
pee, so explain this to him.
I got you. Taika Waititi, who did Ragnarok, obviously, directed an episode, and he did Jojo Rabbit, and it cuts to Taika Waititi at the very end. And he goes, when I showed up, I said, Lucasfilm, you're an absolute joke. No budget. The sets are abysmal. Looks like orphan children built them. The cast, if you can call them that, I mean, that's basically what they were. I had to step in for half of them, even the female actors. It's like, if it wasn't for the paycheck, which is damn good, it wouldn't even be here, to be honest with you. I mean, my time's worth triple this. I do it as a favor. What's Star Wars? Who's even heard of this? Children in the Philippines that can't even eat or find water. They haven't even. So he's like making a joke of The Mandalorian, basically. It's a classic Taika Waititi. But it goes through. Bryce Dallas Howard from Jurassic World directed an episode 2. And I don't know how qualified she is as a director, but all of her stories just involve her dad, Ron Howard.
Yeah, probably.
It's like, all right, I guess.
She's fairly interesting.
No, she's got talent. I mean, her episode is good. Matt, have you seen The Mandalorian yet? And if not, do you have any interest in seeing it?
I still don't have Disney Plus and have no plans to, really.
I mean, Disney's not listening, but I'll give you my login. I want you to watch.
You need to show me something, Jeff, before I just fucking, put my money onto your little streaming service.
That's fair enough. That's fair enough. All right, Banner. Any final thoughts on? I liked it. I think we're getting several more episodes. It said season 1, episode 1, which doesn't sound like a one-off.
See, that's that was the thing that I was confused about. Like, first, it's called Disney Galleria, The Mandalorian. So, are they going to have multiple seasons of Disney Gallery, and each season is going to be a different show? Or is each episode going to be on a different show? I was very confused by that. I think I liked the structure of where they had every director kind of roundtable it, but it seemed kind of forced, and Favreau and Favreau was kind of, I felt like he was pushing his thoughts on these directors, and they were kind of like, yeah, I mean, I guess you're right, except for Taika. That dude is amazing. Absolutely incredible.
Oh, yeah.
He is the most down-to-earth director on that thing. Like, he was not pretentious. You could tell, dude, Bryce Dallas Howard, she was on something, right? Like, she was clearly on drugs.
She was always happy. I do have to say this, Brian and Matt, Star Wars is saved because Taika Waititi is directing a solo Star Wars movie.
Yeah,
writing and directing.
I saw that.
So if they stay out of his way, we should be good.
I don't think that he'll let them get in his way.
Well,
I think he has enough.
Kennedy stays out of everyone's way. That's why she just let Ryan Johnson do it.
That's kind of the problem.
All right.
The greatest quote ever to that was Cycly on the review saying, "The only thing you need to know about this film is Ryan Johnson spells his name R-I-A-N." That was our opening to it. I'm just like, that's all you need to know, really.
And then if we needed to put a cherry on top of that sundae, he also wears a fedora. Anything else, Banner?
No, that's all I got.
All right. Couple things here, not much. Bad Education is what I watched on HBO. Geiger, watch this movie.
Hugh Jackman?
Yep. Holy fuck. Such an interesting story. True story. Insane embezzlement and corruption, and there's at least 2 big twists and turns that you'll be like, holy fuck, that happened too.
It's a movie?
Yeah, on HBO. It's an HBO original.
Okay.
It's just a movie. It's like an hour 30.
Is this HBO's first original movie?
I don't know. That's a good question. But Hugh Jackman plays the superintendent. It takes place in 2004 or 5 of a pretty well-to-do Long Island school district. They're currently 4th in the state in college acceptance, and he's trying to get them up to number 1. Ray Romano is in it. He plays like a real estate developer in the area who has 2 kids who go to the high school. And Allison Janney who won an Oscar actually for I, Tonya. She's Tonya Harding's mom.
Oh, she's great.
She's so good, dude.
She's
so good. And she's great in this. And the kid from American Vandal who drew the dicks, main kid, he plays her son.
It's awesome.
And there's a scene.
Ray Romano's good, too.
It's all about the ball here.
Yeah, Ray Romano's got like a sneaky good actor, but
he's a fantastic actor.
Good in that.
Yeah, he wasn't the Irishman. There's a scene where her son, the kid from American Vandal, goes to like Ace Hardware or one of those hardware places, and he's like buying a bunch of shit because he's remodeling her deck. And he's a dumbass in this movie, as you would imagine that kid would play. And the guy at Ace Hardware goes, "You should sign up for our valued customer card if you're buying this much stuff." And he gives him like a double take and goes, "You think I'm valued?" It's a great scene. But dude, I was telling Thurman to watch it. I think he did. If you need some way to access it, I think you have HBO right now, right? Because you're watching True Blood?
Yeah.
Okay. So. You got to check it out, dude. It was so good. And there's at least 2 big twists and turns where you're like, holy fuck.
All right.
You sold me on it last night through text, so I'll check it out before next week.
I give it a 5 out of 5 on Letterboxd. It's already on the Oscars nominations for next year. It's so good. And dude, you put Hugh Jackman in a fucking Teletubbies episode, I would watch it. I rewatched Thor Ragnarok, which actually my fiance was watching it and laughing her ass off, and she was like, "All right, let's rewatch all the Marvel movies." It's just a fucking incredible film, front to back. Korg is incredible. It's dark when it needs to be. It explains Thor's evolution to this person. It sets up Infinity War perfectly. But my favorite part, and I told Geiger this at the end, on Sakaar, when the prison break happens, once Hulk turns back into Banner, and they think that Hulk is like the grand champion has escaped, all the prisoners run out, and the Grandmaster, played by Jeff Goldblum, and his assistant are trying to like manage the people, and she goes, "Sir, the prisoners have escaped." And he goes, "Oh God, I hate that. We're prisoners. What did I tell you to call them?" And she goes, "Okay, sorry, the slaves with jobs have escaped." And he goes, "Much better, thank you. Now finish what you were saying." Which is great.
Maybe the greatest Marvel movie ever.
I think so, man. If you don't count like
the Galaxy's close, the first Iron Man, but God, that's so good.
Like it's definitely, I think it's the funniest.
Oh yeah, well, like Infinity War and Endgame need to be graded on a different scale because they were doing something totally different.
Yeah, I think you have Thor, Ragnarok, you have Ant-Man, Guardians of the Galaxy, both of them. Those are all kind of in that same genre where they're great movies, but they also have that comedic effect. I think Ragnarok tops all of them, and I really like Ant-Man.
The scene I forgot was Doctor Strange is in like 7 minutes of the movie when Thor and Loki land on Earth, and he
just keeps refilling his beer.
But Thor says to him, he's like, "I actually know where Odin is," and Thor's like, "You could have contacted me. I've been on Earth for like the last 2 years." He's like, "You don't have a phone." And he goes, "You could have sent me an electronic mail. Heard of it?" And he goes, "Do you have a computer?" And he goes, "No. Why would I?" Just good writing. All right, last thing I watched, I told you guys I'm running through this. Haven't seen one of these in a while. I'm going through all the Simpsons episodes on Disney Plus, and I am not close to finished, but we'll eventually get there.
At this rate, you won't be done before 2050.
Did they predict shit?
I mean, it's almost unfair because they have like 800 episodes, but they've predicted pretty much anything, like the Trump presidency. Schwarzenegger's governor.
They've gotten like 4 Super Bowls, right? Haven't they?
Yeah, I believe so.
Because I see that all the time, and I'm like, I don't know. I don't watch The Simpsons, and I don't really want to watch every episode to see like if that's actually truthful or not. So
it's almost like if you take enough shots, like eventually you're gonna hit one.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
But so I'm 5 episodes into season 1. This one was season 1, episode 5, called Bart the General. And this is actually what I think is the funniest episode I've seen so far. So really quickly, Nelson, who's obviously like the schoolhouse bully, him and Bart get in a fight. And Matt, speaking of predictions, Nelson says to Bart after Bart punches him, "You made me bleed my own blood." And what's that from? Dodgeball. So now I'm like, maybe Ben Stiller's never even seen that episode. But I'm like, when I saw it, I was like, fuck, dude, that's not even original. Another thing I thought was funny, Nelson has like 2 interns who set up his fights after school. And one of them says to Bart, Nelson will need you to be at the flagpole promptly at 3:15 as he has 3 other fights scheduled this afternoon. And there's another great line, and Matt, I'm sure your parents have had this conversation when you were in like elementary school. So Bart has to fight Nelson, and he tells Marge and Homer. And Marge says, "Well, Bart, I hope you're going to the principal about this fight." And Homer goes, "And violate the code of the schoolyard? I'd rather Bart died." Like, let my son get fucking murdered before he breaks bro code. Last thing I had, Matt, you'll love this. So Bart doesn't know how to fight, so he goes to his grandpa. And someone's like, "Why would grandpa know how to fight?" And Bart goes, "Did you see the fight he put up when we tried to put him in the nursing home?" So Bart goes to his grandpa, who takes him to like this 32-year-old high school burnout who runs like a gun shop in Springfield. And in the gun shop, there's a poster on the wall that has the globe like on fire or burning, like it's the end of the world. And at the top of it has the caption, "Someone talked." I don't know how it makes any sense. I just thought it was fucking hilarious. So check out The Simpsons on Disney Plus.
Are they easy watches?
Dude, they're 18 minutes each. I have the captions on, and I'm cooking food while I watch them.
Okay. I mean, it seems like a cool show.
I'll give you my Disney Plus login if you want to dive into them. I've laughed audibly at every episode at least once. This one was the funniest. Someone talked. The whole earth is burning to the ground. It's like, it's a little paranoid, but okay.
Probably a flat earther.
Definitely. All right, Banner. What's the last part of our show? I think you had a question.
I think I need to switch it up, guys. You lift, bro?
Ooh, I like that.
Did you? I don't know. It felt weird.
It's different. The last part of our show is Do You Even Lift Bruh? Where we ask you a question that we want to leave you with. And today, the question involves Venom, Let There Be Carnage. That's an actual title for a movie coming out in 2021. The sequel to the original Venom film, which for some reason I think I like more by the day without having even rewatched it. But now it has an official name, assuming they don't pull a Birds of Prey and change it 2 weeks after it's released in theaters. So without much other movie news, what's our take on this title? But more importantly, what are some of the shittiest movie titles that you can ever remember, like being real, like an actual movie title that is just so dumb? Geiger, we'll go to you first.
Mine is Superman, The Quest for Peace. Sorry, The Quest for Peace.
Jesus.
Honestly, does anything sound more fucking like 70s, 80s than that? Banner, stop. Just be original.
I just love it because you didn't even try to sell Queef for Peace. Fuck it. It's not a good title. I don't need to.
But it just sounds so like, that sounds like a terrible science fiction. I mean, this is Superman, probably arguably the greatest comic book ever. You got Batman, Spider-Man, Superman, like, and that, like, The Quest for Peace, that sounds like such a 1950s comic. And this movie, I think these were come out in the 60s, I believe, maybe 70s.
Was that? I think it was Reeves' last one, right?
Yeah, and I like now that they use like Man of Steel, Dark Knight, or like something like that instead of just the name of it. But that's a terrible fucking name for a sequel. Like, The Quest for Peace. I'm like, will he find it? I'm like, obviously he's gonna win at the end. Like, what the fuck? Like, I mean, it should be called like Superman's Doomsday or something like that. Like, what the fuck is that?
I don't know, Matt. It's not like they have 100 years of comics to work off of for titles.
I don't know. The Quest for Peace.
That would have been better.
Yeah.
That's probably.
I mean,
I'm sure that
No.
is a movie though, somewhere out there.
I would hope.
Matt's like, no world I want to live in doesn't have a porno version of Superman 4. All right, Banner.
All
Worst
right,
movie title you've ever heard of, or if you have
I've got
any
a
thoughts on
couple.
it.
I've got a couple here. 1, Speed 2, Cruise Control.
It's an awesome title.
That's so fucking bad.
It's so dumb.
Especially because they're on a boat. Why would a boat have cruise control?
Yeah, and Cruise Control would have solved the problem of the first one. You brought that up in the text thread the other day.
Yeah, that's true. With cruise control, there is no first one.
Yeah, literally, it solves the problem of the first movie. So we're just gonna negate that, and here we go. Cruise
But I didn't
Control.
think of the issue that they're on the water. Like, you don't have cruise control, to my knowledge, on boats. It makes no
Well,
sense.
he's trying to control the whole cruise ship, Jeff. Obviously, if you didn't understand that, then this movie's just too smart for you.
Do you think there's someone in the theaters who's like, why didn't he put it on cruise control? And the first one was like, Dave, can you not, please? Can you
Dave, just
enjoy the movie.
It's
Okay.
a movie. God.
Fucking-
Another one I have, which Jeff, you might fight me on here, but Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again.
It's a song. It's the
It's
lyrics.
dumb. It's dumb. Just call it Mamma Mia 2. Come on.
Jesus Christ. Culture yourself. Listen to some ABBA.
Would the 3 one be called Mamma Mia, My? Because there's 3.
Go on. Hang on. Let me get my pen out.
If they make a third one of this, Pierce Brosnan clearly needs money. He's got he's got a bunch of kids we don't know about. He's trying to
I
pay
don't
for.
think Pierce Brosnan would argue. Be like, of course I need money.
Well, one of his gangly looking alien kids were at the Oscars this year, wasn't he, as an usher?
How far did that apple fall from the tree? I'm sure he's a great guy.
He's not good looking at all. Like, what the hell happened?
And has no idea where the nearest gym is.
Those are a couple I had. Speed 2, Cruise Control, Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again.
Well, 1 for 2 ain't bad. I'm going to upset some people here. This one's an obvious one for me. Cowboys and Aliens. It's just fucking lazy.
I love this movie. We need to do a commentary on that.
What's in the movie? There's like cowboys and there's aliens. Stop. We got the title.
That's it. Write it.
I like the movie, but I've never liked this title. Spider-Man Homecoming. That's just stupid. Oh, the dance that he goes. Come on, dude. It's a fucking MCU Marvel movie. Spider-Man. Don't do that.
I'll put you on the spot. What would you call it?
Whoa.
MCU, they just needed some spin of it. I mean, just call it like the Incredible Spider-Man. There you go.
But he's
Mhm.
the Spider-Man.
Yeah, but he's amazing.
Not in the Ultimates universe, which the MCU is based off of, where we have Black
I
Fury.
kind of with you with the Homecoming. I think it was more like Spider-Man just coming. I think the movie was more not in the universe, but more in the world.
I
The
think
real world.
If it was called
Spider-Man's
Spider-Man
coming back.
Sadie Hawkins Dance, would you guys feel the same way? I don't think so.
I don't think it was. I think it was like it was a play on words here. It wasn't necessarily because of the Homecoming dance. It's because Spider-Man was home where he actually belonged with other Marvel heroes.
Okay. All right. You've talked me into it. I agree with you.
That's what I was saying. Like it's more for the fans to get. It's like, hey man, he's finally home. Like we got him.
We're
back.
gonna do him justice.
All right.
now.
I'll give you that one.
Far From Home, I thought was stupid.
Far From Home is definitely stupid.
This one
But
you can't.
But you can't call it Spider-Man European Vacation either. Like, come
Well,
on.
let's not get ahead of ourselves. We might
All
have
right.
something there.
This one you can't defend though. Mr. Megorium's Wonder Emporium. Anybody want to fucking step up and?
I'm fine.
No.
You're good.
No, we're good.
Hey,
with that one.
this is a classic, but look, all the moms at home. This is a stupid as fuck title. Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
Motherfucker. Oh,
Get the
sorry.
fuck out of here. Exactly. It's Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. That's a movie. That's just noises a raccoon makes when he's breaking into my trash can. And then the last one, and I'm sorry, Blake Lively, I know your career started here, and I know that the book's called this too. Hey, sorry, it's a dumb fucking book title. Divine Secrets of the Ya-Ya Sisterhood.
Just call it the Ya-Ya Sisterhood.
Don't even get Ya-Ya's where my problem is. Get Ya-Ya out of the title.
See, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with yeah. It's too long with the divine secrets. Like, are there other kinds of secrets? Are there
It's all too
multiple
much.
kinds of secrets?
What are your secrets? You made out with Jimmy after winter formal? Hey, newsflash, we're all 32 and no one gives a fuck. Because Jimmy sells car insurance.
But he's pretty good at it.
He's damn good. I upped my policy with him.
Since we're not talking about the movies, we're just talking about the names. X-Men Origins Wolverine is terrible. They should have called it Logan because he was Logan before he was Wolverine.
Yeah,
They really should have called it James.
James
Howlett.
Mangold was like, so no one's taking Logan? I can just go with that? Because that's what I'm going to do.
But they should have called that one Logan because that was obviously his not X-Men Origins Wolverine. That would have been fine if you're going to make also an X-Men Origins like Storm and Cyclops.
That was the plan. They planned on making Cyclops, and then they're like, wow, this pile of shit? All right, never mind.
Episode 1 of the Bro Force Squad podcast, which I re-listened to. Banner brings that up. Check it out. All right, guys, any last thoughts? Because I'm going to piss my pants.
Me too.
Nope, I'm good.
All right. For the med scientist, Brian Banner, our enforcer from the paint, Matt Geiger, we're the Bro Force Squad podcast. Follow us on Twitter at Bro Force Squad. Type in Bro Force Squad as 3 words on Letterboxd, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube, and find us there. Check out all of our content on our website, broforcesquad.com. Till next time, we'll see you out at the movies, or I guess like our streaming services currently.
I think my bladder is getting...
What should I do?
You should probably pull over, but go to the right, not the left.